Venomous snakes not only hunt other species, but sometimes also eat their very own kind. In some species, the venom can take effect after just a few minutes, enough to paralyze the nervous system or rapidly destroy tissue. But even with such a level of toxicity, they can still become the prey of another snake when the opportunity arises. These situations usually occur during food shortages or when two individuals encounter each other in the same territory. Welcome to the shocking moments about venomous snakes eating their own kind ever recorded in nature. King cobra versus carpet python. A king cobra is observing its opponent, a carpet python, with distinctive yellow and black patterns native to the region. Tension rises as the king cobra begins to close the distance. It does not rush. Instead, it carefully calculates position and timing against an opponent capable of powerful constriction. A sudden strike to the target's back ends the waiting. The king cobra uses its superior size and neurotoxic venom to subdue the python, neutralizing its attempt to coil defensively. As the toxin begins to paralyze the prey's muscular system, the king cobra moves into the final stage. It swallows the python starting from the head to reduce resistance from the scales. And it is precisely this specialized adaptation for hunting other reptiles that has allowed the king cobra to maintain its position at the top of the natural food chain. Banded krait versus bird. How can a snake that usually operates underground become a threat high in the trees? The banded krait possesses a unique triangular body structure that gives it excellent balance on narrow branches. Its presence here is not accidental, but part of a calculated hunting strategy. Observing a bird perched on a branch, the banded krait moves in absolute silence, closing the distance millimeter by millimeter. The venom of the banded krait is many times more potent than that of a cobra. However, because this species is relatively shy during the daytime, birds often become very confident when encountering it. The bird ahead is completely unaware of the predator closing in just behind it. Despite being close enough with daytime reflexes 10 to 15 times faster than the snakes, the bird seems to be in control of the situation. After a long period of observation and approach, when the distance is reduced to just a few centimeters, the silence is shattered. The snake launches a lightning-fast strike, locking its jaws onto the prey's body. The bird struck cleanly. Immediately ceases all movement as the extremely powerful venom floods its system. King cobra versus reticulated python. A piece of footage accidentally captures the exact moment a king cobra hunts, and today's unlucky victim is a reticulated python. The python immediately reacts by instinct, using its entire body to coil tightly around the king cobra's neck in an attempt to defend itself through constriction. Despite being constricted, the king cobra maintains its bite. This allows the venom glands to continue contracting, pumping a large quantity of neurotoxin directly into the python's muscle tissue and bloodstream. The neurotoxin begins disrupting signal transmission between the brain and muscles, causing the python's coils to gradually lose mechanical strength. In addition to losing constriction force, the muscles that support respiration are also paralyzed, causing the python to quickly lapse into oxygen deprivation. Once the opponent is completely subdued, the king cobra begins the swallowing process. Watch it consume the prey with seemingly no effort at all. This is a clear demonstration of the advantage of venom over muscular constriction when these two specialized hunting methods collide directly in nature. King cobra versus ground python. The king cobra is the world's largest venomous snake, with a diet specialized in other reptiles. This video records the approach of a king cobra toward a ground python in a simulated captive environment. Instead of attacking the head as many predators do, the king cobra delivers its initial bite to the python's tail. This is a characteristic hunting behavior when facing prey capable of strong constriction. The python attempts to coil around the king cobra, but the venomous bite gives it no opportunity to do so.
He finished his meal without much difficulty.
If the king cobra had bitten the head first, the python could have immediately used its massive body to constrict and break the king cobra's bones before the venom had time to take effect. Although the ground python has very thick musculature, it is an ectothermic animal. When injected with venom, cellular energy production is disrupted, and the python rapidly enters respiratory failure and complete paralysis. Ringed snake versus gecko. In the natural world, a successful hunt does not rely solely on speed, but on absolute control. A ringed snake executes a deadly constriction, locking down every movement of a large gecko on the dry ground. Although it does not possess venom as powerful as cobra species, the ringed snake is a master of body mechanics. Interwoven coils generate continuous pressure, gradually depriving the prey of oxygen and the strength to resist. When the snake senses that the prey has weakened it, carefully adjusts its strategy. It loosens the upper coils slightly to search for an opening. The target is the head, the point that allows the fight to end most quickly. The combination of constricting force and sharp teeth creates an irreversible situation for the prey. The prey's life slowly fades. Each contraction moves the prey deeper into the esophagus without any difficulty. Gonyosoma versus masked palm civet. In tropical forests, a gonyosoma snake displays its characteristic defensive mechanism. This species can inflate the skin around its neck to appear larger and intimidate curious intruders. Its opponent is a masked palm civet, a carnivorous mammal with a diverse diet ranging from fruit to small animals. With a flexible body and sharp-clawed limbs, The masked palm civet is an expert climber, and this encounter plays directly to its strengths. The snake coils its front body into an S shape to store potential energy ready to launch a lightning-fast strike in an instant. Although attacked suddenly, the civet's limbs have exceptional grip, allowing it to maintain perfect balance on narrow branches even while engaged in combat. The quick reflexes of the mustelid family are precisely the weapon that allows them to confront deadly venomous snakes. In arboreal environments, masked palm civets often hold the advantage due to the flexibility of forelimbs and the intelligence of a carnivorous mammal. Unable to reach this prey, the snake quickly retreats into the undergrowth, choosing to avoid injury rather than fight to the end. Striped snake versus bird. A striped snake invades a wall cavity containing an unhatched egg and newly hatched chicks. Because the striped snake lacks venom and is not a powerful constrictor like pythons, it uses a strategy of swallowing prey alive. The predator launches a rapid strike, clamping onto the head of one chick. Like other snakes, the striped snake's jawbones are not rigidly fused, but connected by elastic ligaments, allowing it to swallow a chick 2 to 3 times larger than its head. Throughout this process, the snake's trachea is pushed forward to ensure uninterrupted breathing even while the esophagus is completely filled. Snakes typically swallow chicks headfirst to fold the wings and feathers along the direction of the esophagus, preventing obstruction. This is a perfect evolutionary adaptation, enabling reptiles to consume meals far larger than their head diameter. Vine snake versus green anola lizard. The vine snake possesses a slender body that perfectly mimics a small branch, deceiving visual perception. Its opponent today is a green anole lizard. The snake delivers a precise bite to the head, the critical point for controlling the prey's nervous system. In this encounter, the snake's absolute stillness disables the lizard's early warning system, turning a harmless branch into a deadly threat. The vine snake does not rely on muscular constriction, but uses sharp teeth to hold its target firmly. The green anole, although capable of shedding its tail to escape, finds this last line of defense useless once the head is locked. The battle shifts from speed to jaw endurance. This is truly a substantial meal in an environment shared by many predators and prey. Although the prey struggles desperately, the backward-facing teeth of the snake ensure that every attempt to escape only worsens the wounds. It is agonizing to still be alive, yet unable to escape the threshold of death. Water moccasin versus black racer. A water moccasin faces off against a black racer in an extremely suffocating situation, where the line between life and death becomes thinner than ever. The black snake remains completely motionless, like a stone, seemingly hoping that the freeze tactic can deceive its enemy. But the water moccasin possesses specialized heat-sensing pits, allowing it to detect targets through body heat radiation, even when the opponent does not make the slightest movement. In situations where they are weaker in strength compared to their opponent, these timid creatures can only do one thing: hope. It does not rush to attack, instead repeatedly flicking its tongue to confirm the prey. Snakes are capable of accurately identifying species through distinctive chemical molecules present on the body. Once certain of the target, the water moccasin begins to gradually seize the opponent's head. Each rhythmic contraction draws the black snake deeper into the esophagus, marking the end of a patient hunt. Indigo snake versus rat. The glossy black indigo snake is searching for prey among rocky crevices. Its target is a large rat attempting to hide. The predator silently delivers a precise strike while the prey is still busy feeding. This is not a typical constrictor. The indigo snake possesses extremely powerful jaw muscles, allowing it to subdue prey using pure physical pressure. The rat struggles desperately, but against an opponent with overwhelming muscular strength, all efforts are futile. The predator's survival instinct is always cold and precise. Swallowing a rat can take up to 15 minutes. So do you know how snakes breathe while swallowing? Snakes have a small breathing tube at the base of the mouth that can be pushed forward to draw air from outside, even when the throat is blocked by food. This allows them to never suffocate during the process of enjoying a hearty meal. The rat's entire body gradually disappears beneath the stretched skin. In the brutal natural world, this is the endless cycle of life and death. Snake versus lizard. A large snake is silently observing its target with icy eyes and maximum patience. Its target is a brightly colored green lizard, a species known for agility and swift movement across rugged rocky terrain. The snake uses perfect camouflage, slithering soundlessly to prepare for a direct ambush. The moment danger is detected, the lizard immediately flees. A high-speed chase erupts among thorny bushes and dry cliffs. Finally, a decisive bite ends the escape attempt. The predator quickly uses its muscular strength to coil tightly, fully subduing the prey. A harsh ending, but an inevitable continuation of the flow of energy in nature. Grass snake versus frog. On dry ground near the water's edge, a grass snake begins a patient hunt. Not far away, a frog sits motionless. Though it appears calm, all its senses are focused on the slightest vibrations from the ground, ready to react to danger. A frog's skin is always moist, and it often breathes by inflating and deflating its throat. These tiny vibrations travel through the ground and are detected with extreme sensitivity by the snake's jawbones. The predator has approached very closely. Just as the shadow of death looms, a lightning-fast leap saves the frog. The battle shifts into the water. A frog's hind legs are built like powerful compressed springs. It takes only 0.05 seconds for a frog to go from stillness to an explosive jump, sometimes faster than a snake's strike. But this time, the water is the grass snake's home field. And when the environment changes, the script changes as well. The grass snake, a master of aquatic environments, begins a hunt to sustain its life. Not far away, a marsh frog remains motionless, relying on camouflage blended with the mud to escape the gaze of death. A brief encounter nearly results in the frog being caught. The grass snake is a persistent pursuer. It does not rely on extreme speed, but on tireless tracking, steadily closing the distance with chilling calmness. The predator continues to follow silently. It is not easy to secure such a valuable meal. In the blink of an eye, the bite is launched, and the prey is now inside the snake's mouth. This is the brutal reality of the food chain, where one species' life is another's sustenance. Mussurana versus lizard. This mussurana is digging into burrows in search of prey. Its unique skull structure allows it to turn its head into a natural shovel, breaking the usual rules of underground hiding. Observe how it persistently clears away each layer of dry soil and rock. This is an energy-intensive strategy, but one with immense survival value. Evolution has equipped the mussurana with precise scent tracking, turning even the most secure burrows into inescapable traps for their inhabitants. Persistence pays off as it reaches the lizard. Despite the prey's desperate resistance, superior muscle strength allows the snake to easily drag the defeated victim from its final refuge. Its venom-injecting fangs are located deep in the back of the mouth. To effectively deliver venom into the lizard, it often must clamp down firmly and lightly chew so the venom seeps into the wound. For humans, mussurana venom is not a major concern, but for reptile prey or small animals, it is extremely effective, rapidly paralyzing the nervous system and muscles. Horned rattlesnake versus mouse. Have you ever wondered how fast the venom of a horned rattlesnake can take effect? A white mouse is placed into the predator's territory. From inside a dark rock crevice, the snake remains absolutely motionless. It uses heat-sensitive receptors and keen vision to lock onto every movement of the unsuspecting target. When the distance reaches optimal precision, An explosive strike occurs so fast that the naked eye can barely follow it in real time.
Oh, the mouse is biting himself.
After the attack, the venom begins to take effect, rapidly paralyzing the victim's nervous system. The venom destroys blood cells, preventing blood from transporting oxygen to the prey's organs.
Oh. This is a mouse, so it's not that.
The mouse's heart beats erratically, then quickly weakens as blood pressure drops sharply, leading to shock and death within just a few minutes.
Time.
The predator patiently maintains control, waiting until the prey completely loses resistance before beginning to swallow.
There he is, now.
Western ribbon snake versus frog. The western ribbon snake, with its slender body and distinctive stripes, silently patrols shallow waters.
Leopard frogs are awesome. Mosquito fish and darters, zebras.
Here, frogs often seek refuge from extreme heat by burrowing deep into moist sand. However, this stillness is soon broken by sharp hunting instincts.
Strike is a blur in the snake's curved teeth.
The snake launches a lightning-fast strike. Sharp teeth clamp onto the target before the prey can react defensively.
Small adversary.
The frog makes a final effort by inflating its body like a balloon to prevent being swallowed. But the predator has a counterweapon specialized teeth pierce the skin, causing the prey to deflate rapidly and lose resistance. The meal quickly disappears into the esophagus. With a full belly, the snake quietly slips back into the water, leaving behind a scene as calm as if no deadly struggle had just occurred. Peringue's adder versus lizard.
And resourceful animals like this.
The Peringue's adder and a desert lizard, an iconic example of camouflage artistry and the brutality of speed in nature.
Look for food. Ever wonder how
In this harsh land, the rare moisture from early morning fog creates the perfect hunting moment, minimizing contact with hot sand.
the desert?
To move efficiently across loose sand, the Peringue's adder uses a unique sidewinding technique, reducing surface contact with extreme heat.
Most of its body off the sand.
The Peringue's adder does not hunt by chasing prey. It is an ambush master. Using body undulations, it buries itself deep beneath the fine sand of the Namib Desert, exposing only its eyes and nostrils.
But gets devoured.
And when the prey approaches, a strike so fast even the camera cannot capture it. The survival battle ends with a brutal swallow, once again confirming the dominance of an apex predator in the vast desert. Banded krait versus keelback water snake. The banded krait is not only a symbol of danger, but a true snake-eating specialist. Today, we witness the overwhelming power of neurotoxic venom in an unequal confrontation. This reptile carries extremely potent neurotoxins that attack the central nervous system directly, paralyzing its prey within minutes. Once the venom spreads, all struggling becomes futile against the locked jaws of the hunter. And it is attempting to slide upward to reach the prey's head. An eternal rule among snake eaters is to always swallow from the head first, ensuring the prey cannot retaliate, and preventing backward-facing scales from injuring the jaws during swallowing. To process such a massive protein load, the krait's heart and liver can increase in size by up to 40% within hours. This accelerates blood circulation and supplies enough digestive enzymes to break down the prey completely before it decomposes inside the stomach. King snake versus rattlesnake. On the dry ground of the wilderness, a tense encounter unfolds silently.
So I'll be back.
The California king snake, with its striking black and white bands, shows no fear before the deadly warning rattle.
There we go. Battle's on.
Its target is the rattlesnake, a species famed for venom. With natural immunity, the king snake views this dangerous adversary merely as nourishment.
Looks like
The king snake does not rely on venom, but on superior muscular constriction.
it's a perfect size rattlesnake too.
This high-level predation technique compresses the opponent's lungs, halts blood flow, and leads to rapid death. Even armed with deadly venom, the rattlesnake becomes helpless before its natural nemesis.
Oh, here we go, head to head, there it is.
A direct bite to the opponent's mouth cuts off any final resistance. Once resistance ceases, the predator begins the swallowing ritual. The king snake carefully swallows headfirst to align spines and scales smoothly, preventing internal injury.
That's why you want to have king snakes in the back.
Gradually, the flexible jaws expand to accommodate prey nearly equal to its own size.
Good stuff.
An unstoppable nemesis of venomous snakes.
There's a rattler inside them. Thank you very much.
Snake fight to the death. In the reptile world, the boundary between hunter and prey is often thin. We are witnessing a classic behavior known as ophiophagy, snakes eating snakes, a testament to the ruthless practicality of survival laws in nature.
How can you tell?
The reddish-brown snake has gained the advantage, clamping firmly onto the opponent's head. The bite is not merely to hold, but the first step in subduing. They twist continuously, forming a complex knotted mass. This is the desperate attempt of the hunted to escape, while the predator uses every muscle to constrict and exhaust its rival. When attacked or feeling threatened, a snake can release a foul-smelling secretion from its cloaca. This odor not only repels enemies, but serves as an alarm signal to other snakes nearby. Snake battles resemble combat sports more than massacres. They measure size and endurance with muscle power, prioritizing survival for both, unless it is truly a hunter-prey relationship. Snake versus snake. In the natural world, not every battle ends in death. Beneath the green grass, two snakes are entering a dramatic ritual to determine dominance. This is not a mating dance, but a direct confrontation between two males fighting for territorial control and priority rights. They coil tightly around each other, forming a living braid of muscle and hardened scales. The ultimate goal for each is to use pure body strength to press the opponent's head down to the ground. They wrestle and twist constantly, searching for openings among the dry grass. Ferocious bites are aimed directly at the opponent's body. However, they do not attack to kill their own kind. No bite to the head will occur with the intention of swallowing prey. Python versus rat. Did you know that in absolute darkness, a killer does not need eyes to see its enemy? Pythons rely not only on muscle strength. They possess sophisticated heat sensors that construct an exact thermal map of their prey. While two small rats are busy searching for food, they have no idea they are already locked in the sights of one of nature's most brilliant hunting engineers. When the distance is close enough, an explosive strike happens in just 120 of a second. But the real secret lies in the coils. The immense pressure does not merely break bones, it stops blood circulation, causing the prey to lose consciousness before it even realizes what is happening. It slowly enjoys the meal with two prey at once. Each meal like this is an enormous energy investment, sustaining the hunter for weeks to come. A python's jaw is not rigidly fixed, but connected by elastic ligaments, allowing it to walk over prey many times larger than its own head. This is not just brutality, but a perfect energy cycle of nature, where even the smallest mistake costs a life. Python versus turtle. Though a cold-blooded predator, the python is among the most devoted mothers in the natural world. She is carrying out the most important mission of her life, protecting her clutch of eggs from every threat. This is when survival instinct reaches its highest intensity. And an uninvited stranger circles near the nest. Observe its cloudy eyes closely. This is the blue phase before shedding, when a protective membrane temporarily blinds the python. In this vulnerable state, the mother becomes far more sensitive and aggressive to compensate for her limited vision. For this reason, the presence of the unknown visitor ignites a surge of defensive fury within her. When patience reaches its limit, a lightning-fast warning strike is launched. This is not a hunt for food, but a defensive strategy to safeguard the next generation. Adder baby versus lizard. Under dense grass, a baby adder is performing the most important survival lesson of its life. This is not the hunt of a seasoned assassin, but the clumsy first attempts of instinct. The lizard is oversized, a true test for the novice predator. For young snakes, estimating prey size is not yet refined, creating major difficulty. Although equipped with flexible quadrate bones allowing maximum jaw expansion, coordinating both sides of the jaw to draw prey inward remains awkward. It is learning to control each muscle group, a skill that must be mastered to survive. After much effort, it reaches the prey's head. Yet it is still too difficult to know exactly how to swallow. From these arduous hunting trials, a future ruler of the grasslands is slowly being forged. Serval lynx versus puff adders. A wild encounter between two of the fastest hunters in the predator world. The serval is known as a master of hunting success rates, reaching up to 50% per attempt, making it one of Africa's most efficient predators. But this time, the opponent is the puff adder, responsible for more fatalities on the continent due to perfect camouflage and tissue-destroying venom. The cat repeatedly strikes and retreats, using sharp claws to stun and maintain safe distance beyond fang reach. This is a clash between reflex speed and lightning strike. The puff adder has one of the fastest strikes among snakes, launching fangs in just 0.25 seconds. However, the serval possesses extremely powerful hind legs, allowing vertical leaps of over 2 meters to evade. It forces the snake to expend energy repeatedly, draining the explosive reserves of this cold-blooded reptile. In the end, no killing blow is delivered. Neither chooses to gamble its life for such a dangerous meal. Eagle versus chicken. A bird of prey swoops down, intending to snatch a chick, but it makes the mistake of underestimating the ferocity of the mother hen. Instead of fleeing, the hen immediately spreads her wings, using her claws and beak to counterattack the enemy with fierce determination. Predators from different regions may rule their own territories, but when they land on a mother hen's ground, the outcome is often the same. In the natural world, protecting offspring is truly a force that creates formidable strength. The battle shifts into a tense struggle at the entrance of the shelter. The hunter briefly subdues the prey in an instant, yet it never expects the surge of maternal fury. The hen unleashes precise pecks and powerful kicks, forcing the eagle into retreat and a defensive posture. Before the mother hen's relentless resilience, the hunter ultimately accepts defeat against the sheer cliffside. Inside a dry, rocky hollow, a mother hen shelters and warms her fragile chicks. Yet peace in the wild always carries hidden threats. From atop a tall tree, a hawk watches intently, sharp eyes scanning for any weakness below. Outside, the predator waits patiently, calculating each movement before launching the decisive strike. The air thickens as the boundary between life and death is measured in seconds. Suddenly, the hawk dives at dizzying speed, aiming straight at the nest. On the ground, the hawk reveals a critical weakness. It's hollow. Lightweight bones enable flight, but are vulnerable to repeated pecking strikes. The hen attacks continuously, using the power of her legs and beak to pin the hawk to the ground. Unable to withstand the fierce resistance, the hawk is forced to flee in panic. Eagle versus vulture. Across the harsh plateau sky, a golden eagle glides through the wind, sharp eyes scanning for opportunity. Below, on the snow-covered ground, chaos erupts as large black vultures fight over a carcass. Rather than risk diving into the turmoil immediately, the eagle chooses a wiser strategy, perching high on a cliff and waiting patiently. Its keen eyes never leave the target, calculating the perfect moment when the noisy crowd thins to minimize collision risk. When the opportunity arises and space opens up, the eagle dives to seize the remaining meat. However, the brutal law of wild competition rarely allows a latecomer to feast in peace for long. A black vulture returns, spreading its massive wings to threaten directly. Facing the aggression and superior size of the opponent, the eagle recognizes the clear disadvantage. It steps back, surrendering dominance and the meal to the stronger rival, avoiding an unnecessary clash that could cause injury. Eagle versus snake. Did you know that even skilled aquatic hunters like a snake cannot escape the biological limits of reptiles?
Sea snakes usually comes from the sky.
Though capable of holding their breath for hours while hunting in coral reefs, snakes possess lungs, not gills. This essential need for oxygen creates a fatal weakness. Every time they surface to breathe, they gamble with their lives. From above, the eagle has observed patiently. It does not see a predator, but an easy opportunity.
Armed with keen vision and sharp.
The moment the snake surfaces for air is the moment death descends from the sky. No hiding place, no warning. The dive exceeds 100 kilometers per hour. The eagle's talons function like steel clamps, locking onto the snake's head.
Towards the nest with a prize.
Surprise renders the snake's venom useless, as it has no chance to strike back.
Just to inject his venom, he could kill, especially for a creature.
Adaptation in one environment can become a death sentence in another. One breath, exchanged for an entire life. Eagle versus crane. Each year, demoiselle cranes face their harshest migration challenge crossing the Himalayas. At such altitude, thin air and bone-chilling winds turn every wing beat into a fight for survival. For weak juveniles, the mountains are a deadly fortress that must be conquered to survive. And the ambushers truly appear. With eyesight 8 times sharper than humans, the eagle detects prey from kilometers away. A violent mid-air collision drives talons deep into the juvenile crane's body. It is dragged down toward jagged mountain slopes. They often hunt in pairs, executing separation tactics that force inexperienced young cranes away from flock protection. The flock must continue flying to survive, leaving behind a brutal lesson on the cost of life atop the roof of the world. Eagle versus kittiwake. When spring arrives, the ice around Talon Island, one kittiwake fails to escape. The predator's talons close. Eagle versus bee-eater. Thousands of bee-eaters with vivid red plumage color an entire riverbank. They carve nests into vertical clay cliffs, forming a massive, noisy breeding colony. Yet the true threat comes from above. The ruler of the airspace has arrived. As its massive wings sweep down, the flock erupts into chaotic flight.
The safest place sends shockwaves of panic through the colony.
It performs razor-close passes along the cliff face. The whistle of wings and enormous shadow ignite fear among the small birds. While others might grow dizzy amid thousands of movements, the eagle locks onto its target in a fraction of a second. The denser the crowd, the higher the capture probability. The predator turns the prey's strength into a fatal weakness. Eagle versus goose. Across a calm lake, the sky's ruler plunges like an arrow, launching a lightning assault. Yet the prey activates its survival instinct, diving deep just before talons touch water. Hunting through water challenges birds greatly, as light refraction distorts the prey's true position. The missed strike forces the eagle to brake sharply with its 2-meter wingspan, trying to recover, but failing. The chase becomes a duel of endurance. The eagle circles repeatedly, diving each time the prey surfaces to breathe. The moment ripens as the prey surfaces in desperation. The eagle delivers the decisive strike, reaffirming its dominance in the brutal food chain. Eagle versus mountain goat. On steep cliffs, a herd of mountain goats grazes peacefully, but they do not realize the true threat descends from above at lethal speed. The golden eagle swoops into the herd with perfect precision. Talons embed into a young goat's back, and the hunter turns gravity into a weapon, dragging the victim into a deadly fall among sharp rocks. This tactic is brutal yet effective. Repeated violent impacts quickly paralyze the prey. The eagle refuses to release its grip despite the risky fall. The rest can only flee helplessly before overwhelming power. In such treacherous terrain, death often comes from wings, not footsteps. Eagle versus great blue heron. In nature, a lack of vigilance always comes at a high price. The great blue heron was fleeing 2 predators when it unexpectedly fell into the water. A brawl broke out immediately. Although the great blue heron possesses specialized cervical vertebrae that allow for snake-like rapid pecks, this advantage is completely neutralized in the water environment. Seizing that weakness. The eagle delivers a strike to lock the victim down. The soles of their feet have special rough spicules, evolved to grip extremely tightly onto slippery surfaces, even in water. When wet feathers hinder takeoff, the eagle uses its own powerful wings like paddles to drag the prize to the shore. The water-soaked feather structure now becomes a massive burden for the predator when having to bring the prey out of the water. Instead of taking flight, the eagle is forced to use the full power of its legs in this struggle. The fate of the great blue heron has officially ended, leaving a costly lesson about the cruel laws of survival in nature. Pigeon versus sparrowhawk. Under a gloomy sky, a large flock of pigeons forms a dense mass, moving together across a new land. But they do not realize that a predator has been following for a long time, just waiting for an opportunity to appear. A sparrowhawk, a master of aerial ambushes, after missing a plum prey, returns to observe and wait for the next moment of vulnerability from the pigeon flock. The leafless trees are no longer a safe haven from the high-speed predator. Pigeons are masters of high-speed maneuvers, while the hawk possesses a lethal straight-line dive. Two opposing styles make the hunt more difficult than ever. This is not merely a chase, but a performance of peak aerodynamic skills. Tension hangs over the red-tiled roofs. The pigeon flock continuously takes flight, as instinct tells them that standing still means death. After a while of chasing, the predator dejectedly leaves in helplessness when hunting these difficult targets. Falcon versus falcon. Did you know that falcons are not only aerial assassins, but also extremely aggressive warriors right from the nest? A direct confrontation breaks out when one individual tries to establish dominance, using its wide wingspan and body weight to pin the opponent to the gravel floor. Under suffocating pressure, the disadvantaged bird deploys a signature defense skill of birds of prey flipping onto its back and using razor-sharp talons to block the lightning-fast pecks. In the world of falcons, the beak is the finishing weapon, but the talons are the shield of survival. The cause of the conflict is revealed a small lizard. In nature, the scarcity of high-quality protein sources is the detonator for the most aggressive behaviors, forcing members of the same species into life-and-death confrontations to win feeding priority. Ultimately, the stronger one asserts its position, while the weaker one must accept concession to preserve its life. Cannibalistic chicks. The young chick is fiercely tearing something apart. Astoundingly, it is the carcass of its own kind, or more accurately, its nestmate that has breathed its last. Nests in the wild are sometimes a stage for brutal survival. Individuals lacking food or pushed back in the competition will ultimately become a precious source of protein for the survivor. In the harsh wilderness, morality does not exist. only the most practical and effective choices to keep living. Despite the downy feathers flying everywhere, the young predator silently continues its meal, a sight that brings a chill to the spine. In this unforgiving environment, only the final survivors win the right to dominate the highest skies. Crow versus hen. In the quiet garden, a mother hen is foraging with her brood. Suddenly, a crow swoops down. Maternal protective instincts kick in, and the hen immediately charges to attack with dizzying speed. A flash battle breaks out. The black crow is completely caught off guard and knocked down. It lies on its back, continuously enduring powerful pecks and leg strikes. The determination to protect her young turns the mother hen into a true warrior, completely overwhelming her opponent. After struggling to escape and getting stuck on a net, the crow is neutralized. The core survival behavior of the hen is revealed. She stops the pursuit, stepping back to check the safety of her chicks. When there is no chance to attack, the crow tries to flap its wings to fly up, but the mother hen performs an extraordinary jump, intercepting it mid-air and knocking the intruder down. Jackal versus stork. At a shallow pool, a violent encounter takes place. A black-backed jackal plunges into the mud, attacking a giant stork. The bird spreads its large wingspan to threaten and fight back. The jackal does not back down. It persistently bites and tears, continuously aiming for the opponent's weak points. Stork tries to use its large beak and wings for defense, but its helplessness is too apparent. The jackal is a master of pragmatic strategy. Instead of facing the beak head-on, it cleverly evades and repeatedly aims its bites directly at the soft, vulnerable spots on the neck. And this time, its large size could not protect the stork. The jackal delivers the decisive bite, crushing the airway and completely taking down the opponent. In nature, strength lies not only in physique, but also in speed and cunning predatory instincts. Marabou versus springbok. A newborn springbok fawn has slipped and fallen at the water's edge. Even though the mother antelope is close by, panic leaves her standing helplessly watching. At that moment, a giant marabou stork appears, a cold-blooded killer with a sharp beak, but it arrived only for the purpose of drinking water. The young animal lying right beside it gradually piques its curiosity. Seeing the prey lying exhausted at the water's edge, it calmly approaches. The stork uses its sturdy beak for several probing strikes. The fawn thinks it is danger from a predator and struggles to get up and run away. But unfortunately, its body is too weak, causing it to fail to climb the slope and instead plunge back down into the river. The situation ends tragically as the young antelope flounders in the current and then becomes completely exhausted. Owl versus bird. Pigeon versus pigeon. In the world of urban birds, living space is always the target of underlying disputes. Two pigeons appear on a wire mesh, initially maintaining a safe and cautious distance. They slowly move into the gravel area inside, where there seems to be a food source or an ideal shelter location. The slow steps and seed-pecking behavior show a false state of peace before the storm arrives. The challenger suddenly charges contrary to beasts using claws. The pigeon's main weapons are its wings. They deliver continuous wing claps like sledgehammers, combined with decisive pecks to crush the opponent's will. Under overwhelming pressure, the weaker one retreats, quickly flying away before facing unpredictable consequences. Silence returns to the gravel garden, where the rules of hierarchy have just been asserted directly and powerfully. What you have just watched shows that in the world of venomous snakes, venom is not always an absolute advantage, and when facing their own kind, the outcome depends heavily on timing and reflexes. Every encounter is a direct competition, where just a small deviation is enough to decide everything. If you find this video fascinating, hit like, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel to continue exploring many other wild moments. Thank you for watching until the end. See you again in the next video.